What's up, everybody? You're back in here with the Pro Football Pod. You've got Hulk, you've got Coach. We're hanging out with you. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button down below, because once we hit 500, we're doing a jersey giveaway for one of you lucky viewers. Don't care which one, we'll just give it away to you. Notification bell up in that corner over there, because if you hit that, you get our episodes first, and that is going to be a treat to you throughout the season. Fantasy Football for Dummies playlist rolls on. Today we're diving into the different types of scoring. For this episode, we've got standard, which is kind of quote unquote, wouldn't you say, like the old school type of scoring, Coach?
Exactly. Nowadays it's definitely not the standard, but it's still called standard across the board.
Yeah, and it absolutely isn't the standard. If anything, standard is probably the half point PPR, but
Agreed.
We're not there on that episode yet. You'll have to click on that one whenever that one drops. So for standard, this is just your general draft strategy for all you amateurs that are just looking for little tips. Even you guys out there consider yourself experts or, just highly intelligent when it comes to this. Our strategies might be different than yours, and it might give you little nuggets to plug in the future and see how it works for you. We're here for you. By the fans, for the fans. That's what we're doing here.
So the biggest difference is that in a PPR scoring, you get 1 point per reception, and in standard, you don't. Generally, as well, standard leagues are 4 points for quarterbacks touchdowns to increase the value that honestly running backs have, and players that just score touchdowns more often, or rushing quarterbacks. I feel like those are the biggest things that you want to target in like a standard scoring league.
Agreed. And I'm with you there, to where in a standard league, running backs and running quarterbacks will typically go higher than they will in a PPR league. So, and I am one of those to where in a standard league, while we'll get into the strategies for the other ones, I will go running back, or running back, top running quarterback, a la Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson.
And a big thing to remember is that with all these strategies, obviously you have to play your draft by ear. If in the first 2 rounds, 15 running backs go, and you're coming up at the end of the second round or the beginning of the third, it's not time to take a running back. At this point, there's going to be receivers that score more touchdowns than they get receptions. These guys are also uber valuable. Obviously, players like CeeDee Lamb could potentially still be your first overall pick because he's a touchdown machine, but it's really just about the touchdowns over anything else.
Well, touchdowns as well as average yards per game.
Absolutely. That's where Justin Jefferson is.
Yeah, you've got somebody like CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson. You're not really worried about their yards per game. They're guaranteed to get you at least 75 yards.
And that's where I think getting a top-tier like receiver early...
Amon-Ra, or, guys like back in the day, we had Wes Welker, Julian Edelman, those type of guys. We see those high volume, short yardage guys take a absolute hit, because when you're not getting those points for the 7-8 receptions that they got, then you're praying for 50 yards and a touchdown.
Exactly.
Now, I shouldn't have used Amon-Ra, because he has shown that he can also give you 75 to 80 yards a game on average as well.
At the top half of the first round in a non-PPR standard league isn't as likely, because you're going to get more running backs, like Christian McCaffrey being the number 1 overall. Also, he gets plenty of yards, but a player like Jonathan Taylor, who gets more yardage, is going to have a lot more value. I'm not saying that Christian's not a first round running back in a standard, because he also scored a touchdown on average last year every single game for the most part. He was good for a touchdown no matter what, and receiving and rushing touchdowns are very good points.
And that's where, if you go through any fantasy rankings database and you're able to flip through the standard scoring, half point PPR, you'll notice a change in the guys that go to the top in standard. And what I'm bringing up to that is somebody like Michael Pittman Jr. in standard is rated higher than Jalen Waddle by about 6, 7 draft spots. But
Because
if I
of
switch
touchdowns.
because of touchdowns, but if I switch that to PPR, Jalen Waddle is 12 spots higher than Michael Pittman Jr. because he commands 8 to 12 targets a game.
Exactly.
But his touchdown value isn't as high as Michael Pittman Jr. So that's where those are definitely the things to take into play when looking at your wide receivers and your tight ends. Like your pass catchers, you want guys that are giving you the opportunities in the red zone. And you're wanting guys that, while they are high volume, it's not going to matter in PPR. You're wanting those chances because of the 6 points it's going to bring you off one catch.
It's really the later tier guys that it becomes more difficult for. The first 2 or 3 rounds, these guys are still valuable. They're still worth going after. The disparity is not going to be much, but later on, whenever you have somebody that does not score touchdowns and all they get is receptions, they have almost no value, and it's time to start looking running back. If everyone's going wide receiver and there's a big run on wide receivers, then maybe it's time to look at that last in the tier running back and take them instead.
So perfect example on what you just said there. Jaden Reed in a PPR league is on average right now going about 55 overall in a PPR. Because, you know, the jet sweeps do, if they're passed forward, handed off forward, it counts. So, but in a standard league, Jaden Reed's average position is 71.
Is Christian Watson higher than him in a standard? Because I think Christian Watson, for me, has more value off of that team just because he has more touchdown potential. He scores touchdowns whenever he's in the game. He's just not in the game as often.
No, Christian Watson's ranked behind him in both scoring systems. Which, you're just getting crazy value on that, because if you go look at his game splits with Christian Watson in there, he was getting wide receiver 1 type of target. So, like, yeah, that's going to be insane to watch this year. So, I mean, like I said, the main strategy for me going into a standard draft is running back, mobile quarterback early, and then I start filling out with touchdown makers. Yardages are great, but you've really got to pinpoint the guys that are going to get the opportunities in the red zone. Tyreek Hill is 5'10", but he gets slot fades in the red zone all the time. It's insane. So, hey, keep on with this. We're going to give you guys some more strategies as far as PPR strategies, Superflex double quarterback strategies. So be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. 500, we're giving away a free jersey to one of you lucky viewers. We appreciate you guys. TulsiRoseTea.com is the sponsor. Go there for all your tea needs. We love you guys. Peace out. Deuces. Doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo. And the show is